Good afternoon. Welcome to the Midday Mull for Thursday, the 20th of May. Following McShane's readings, one of the readings today was Psalm 73, which begins, "Surely God is good to Israel, to those who are pure in heart. But as for me, my feet had almost slipped. I nearly lost my foothold. For I envied the arrogant when I saw the prosperity of the wicked." And I stopped and I thought, how common is that? How human is that to look at other people and think, oh, they look like they've got it easy. They look like they've got it good. Today I saw an advert for a stay in one of the camps at Madikwe Game Reserve, advertised at special rates of 3,300 Rand per person per night. And I thought, who can afford that? Imagine being able to afford that. Wouldn't it be great to have that much money? And the minute we start thinking like that, it's a bit of a slippery slope. The psalmist continues in verse 12 and says, "This is what the wicked are like, always carefree. They go on amassing wealth. Surely in vain I've kept my heart pure and have washed my hands in innocence." And that can easily become part of our thinking, saying, what if I align myself with the wicked, if I start copying them, if I do what they do, if I use their measures and their schemes and their systems, I can become like them. I can be as wealthy as they are. I can have what they've got. And our envy can drive us into the wrong path. The psalmist in verse 15 says, "If I had spoken out like that, I would have betrayed your children. When I tried to understand all this, it troubled me deeply till I entered the sanctuary of God. Then I understood their final destiny." And ultimately, that's what we need to do. Any kind of measure we have, any kind of judgment we make, any kind of comparison, we need to step into the sanctuary of God and think in eternal dimensions and say, what is this achieving in the long term? And the long term being beyond the grave. Because that's where our focus ought to be. And as we do that, suddenly we'll start envying other people. And we'll see somebody and think, oh, they seem to have such a deep prayer life with God that I envy. This person seems so close to God that despite their circumstances, which are quite terrible, they are full of joy and love. That person seems to be constantly bubbling over with the love of Christ. That I envy. And when we start measuring things through God's perspective, suddenly we'll start with a very different set of priorities and see different opportunities and be striving for different goals. So as you go through life, if you are wealthy, that's a blessing from God. Be thankful, be generous. If you're not wealthy, don't let it get you down. Don't aim for wealth. Whatever you are, wherever we are, we need to look to God and say, God, I want to see you more clearly, follow you more nearly, love you more dearly. That has to be our cry. And as we do that, we will reflect him to the world and bear fruit for his kingdom. So raise your eyes in your life to the ultimate destiny. As the psalmist did, when I entered the sanctuary of God, I understood their final destiny. That's what counts. Know that, be encouraged, be challenged, be built up, and be blessed.